Hello, Paul.
What's up, Chels?
Well, I just wanted to take some time to interview you in your office. We just wanted to see if you could tell us a little bit about yourself, who you are, what's your story.
Paul Reed is who I am. My job is to get out and go around the country and see people and see if we can help meet their needs. The first time I was introduced to specialty coffee it wasn't even specialty, it was Hawaii coffee. I was with a company that Hawaii was my territory. I used to go to 4 islands 3 times a year, which is Oahu, Maui, Big Island, and Kauai. And we made folding cartons, boxes, printed boxes. I went to SCA, I think it was in 2007, 2008. We go to Expo now. It's huge. It's thousands of people. This was in a small convention center, one room, and it took me about a half an hour, maybe 45 minutes to walk it. The thing is it was chill, and they were awesome people, and they're all laughing, they're having a good time, and they're all, as far as I knew, they were all competitors, or at least, in some arenas they were competitors, but they all got along great. I was really attracted to any coffee organization after that, and the people that grow it, the people that roast it. And so when my wife got sick with cancer, and that was in 2013, she was diagnosed, I stopped the job that I had because my wife needed my attention, because I know that whatever she would have been doing, if I was the one that was sick, she would have stopped, because that's just what you do. Top priority. It doesn't make me a hero. It just, I had some people in my life that taught me how to do that. And I'll never regret that decision. It was the best decision I probably ever made. I had sent out letters to some of my clientele, and I sent it to some guys, and one of the fellows I sent it to is this artist named Albert Shishimoto. Just an awesome guy. He's like an old Japanese surfer dude. I dug him. He was just so fun to hang out with. And we go get lunch or whatever, get dinner. Every time I got to Oahu, he got that letter and he says, you know what? You might try calling people across the hallway from me, do all my flexible packaging. It's a husband and wife team. They're great people, and they're thinking about bringing coffee packaging to the mainland. I told them I have a job. It's full-time. It's 24 hours a day. I'm not looking for work. He goes, yeah, but talk to him. You know what? I did. It was the end of December 2013. Patrick and Mio were the owners, and I talked to Patrick, and we set up a time. He was going to Atlanta on business, and he stopped off at LAX, picked him up at the airport. We went and met at Denny's for 2 hours, and it's just our philosophies were very parallel in the way I've never gone out to sell. I go out and meet people to build relationships. Patrick even told me later on, as I drive around the country, he goes, you don't chase orders, you chase relationships, and it's 100% right. It ended up that he wanted me to come and work with him in 2015 or 2014 at the Expo in Seattle, and I went up there, and I didn't know one thing about coffee packaging. I did know folding cartons, and I do know people, and I was armed with that. I went up there and met Patrick, and it was just, no one knew us. We'd never been on the mainland. We had who we are, and that's really all we needed. I remember Patrick was talking to some guy, and this CEO of a big company, he comes into our booth. He's looking at our sample bag, which was really cool. It was a spot gloss, teal green. It was really a pretty bag, and there was nothing like it out there, nothing. And he's looking at it, and he says, I hear competition's good for business. And I looked at him, and I said, I don't know anything about competition. I'm just here to help people do the things they need to have done, primarily because we want to. And he just looked at me, unbelievable. He walked away. He tried to punk me into a corner. It was pretty awesome. I said, you go compete all you want, man. You got it. It's yours. Go after it. Patrick came over afterwards, and he asked me, he goes, so what happened? Because he was talking to somebody else. It would have been a conversation that Patrick probably should have had with that guy, but he wasn't available. And I, without knowing too much about flexible packaging, didn't get into flexible packaging. I got into what our primary purpose is to help people in their success and help build them up. It had nothing to do with the competition and crap. It was funny. And he goes, that was perfect. I said, okay, good. I knew then that I was in the right place, but I wasn't even worried. I wasn't going to compromise who I was for any, especially for a guy like that. I could care less. I didn't come full-time into work until a year later to work for Savor Brands, because during that year my wife, she went up, she went down, and then she ended up succumbing to cancer. And but you know, this is another great part of who I am today, part of my story. She's a big part of who I am. But after the expo in 2015, I was driving home. I had buried her 10 days before that expo, and I was pretty tore back, without question. And I got really sick in Seattle on that trip. And I got into my hotel, and the window was, the sliding door was open. I didn't even know it had a sliding door. It was cold air coming in, and I couldn't sleep, and I was sick. And in the middle of the night, my wife came to me in a dream, and she says, you know, I'm okay. I'm in a really good place. And put me in a position to just, you know what? There's all I needed to hear. The next thought process was, we go get the kids, my grandkids, and we're going to go through Colorado and call on every roaster we could find. And that pretty much set it up. And this is how I still operate today. I do not only work for Patrick and Mio. You know, I get to our main office in Honolulu every December outside of COVID and spend a week with the crew. I don't even want to leave it because everybody in that office building, I mean, you hear intermittent bursts of laughter, and everybody there has the chance to be their genuine selves. And I think that's really something. That's who I work for. Working with Pat and Mio and that crew gives me all the motivation I need to go out there and meet people. And I love it. I think it's something that I was born to do.
So for the last pretty much 10 years, you have been rolling around the country and meeting roasters, checking in on the roasters that we partner with, going to shows, events, competitions. So why does everyone call you Mr. Coffeebags?
Because we had this artist, Brian. We had been to our plant. A couple of us traveled over there. They had just gotten the new 10-color press. It was awesome. And the next day we're going to leave. And he texted this drawing that he made of me. I don't even know how he did it. It was me, my head, and it was in red. And underneath it, it said Mr. Coffeebags.
Do you have one of those cards in here?
This is one of those cards.
So this is the sketch that has now become a business card. Show the back.
And awesome. so the thing is, a good friend of Chelsea and mine is Andrew Sinai, and he saw that drawing, and he says, you need sweatshirts. I said, what? He goes, you need sweatshirts. He goes, and I'd love one. I'd wear it. So I went and got sweatshirts. My son-in-law saw that, and he's got a laser cutter, and he made these cards, the wood cutout cards, the coffee bag business cards for Christmas one year. It was unsolicited, didn't ask for it. And it's been a lot of fun because the cards are cool.
They are. It's the business card no one can throw away.
Yeah, they don't throw it away. You know, it brings laughter, brings smiles, and I think that's more important than anything. So that's the coolest part about those cards.
Oh, for sure. So for all the places that you and your cards have been, what is the most interesting place that you've traveled to?
Probably the prettiest state I drove through calling on coffee roasters was Alaska. Amazing. Just the dynamics of the mountains, the water, and plus we were there in July. I mean, it was light all night long. That was an amazing place. Just probably, that and Hawaii are the two prettiest states by my standard because they're just dynamic. They're just some beauty that you know, they're awesome. So I've been to some really neat places and met some just phenomenal people. And I gotta say one thing about people in specialty coffee. Been to all 50 states and been to most of the provinces in Canada, and the roasters are all the same. They cheer each other on, they support each other, they go out with each other, they talk about their roasts, and it's just, what a community. Some of the relationships I have with these people in this industry will go when I go. That's when they'll be over. I mean, and the people that we work with as volunteers and the people that run these things, you know, it's all for fun and for free. It's pretty cool. I got the best job of my life and I wasn't looking for it. I'm not trying to bring more people to this industry. You'll find it if you're supposed to be here.
Well, thanks so much, Paul, for inviting me into your office and letting us get to know you a little better.
It's too emotional. I'm sorry, guys. Anyway, it's fun.
Thanks.
It's so good to have you. Keep coming back.